Hello students, welcome to Dynamics of Machinery. We are in third module. We are almost going to complete the third module. This is the last part of the third module, turning moment diagrams and flywheel. Uh, since you are mechanical or automobile engineer, you know about the use of flywheel. Flywheel, where it will be used. Even in your houses, you might have seen this tubing machine. Okay, this is a tubing machine. So even in the tubing machine, when we pedal it, the energy is stored in the flywheel and it will be used. Okay, used later. Similar concept. In one stroke, we have to give the force. Okay, we have to give the force and pedal it. Another stroke, the pedal will automatically return because of the energy which has been stored in this flywheel. Okay, in most of the places, flywheel is used to store the energy. It's a traditional IC engine model. Okay, I think it's a large engine which has been used in the ship. See at the this is a flywheel. Can you see this wheel, green color wheel? So this is a flywheel and it is connected to the crank rod. Okay, during the uh, power stroke, the energy will be stored in the flywheel and the same energy will be used in the rest of the strokes. It's a diagram, turning moment diagram versus turning moment versus crank angle diagram. For example, let me draw a diagram. For example, you are having an IC engine like this. So it's a cylinder head. Okay, it's a cylinder head and it's a piston and it is connecting rod and crank. Okay, during suction stroke, the piston will move in the downward direction. Okay, and the inlet port will be open and it will suck inside the fuel air mixture. Okay, during the suction stroke. So it needs some energy. Okay, we need some energy to push the piston in the downward direction. We need some energy. Okay, so this energy we will get from the flywheel. Okay, and rest of the suction stroke, automatically piston will move downwards. Once the piston got some energy and it has started to move downward means uh, the rest of the stroke can be carried with the help of gravity force and the inertia force. Okay, so we get energy from flywheel, so it's minus, and because of the gravity force and the inertia force we started to move downward, so we are getting energy through gravity and inertia force, so it is mentioned as plus. And next stroke is a compression stroke. During compression stroke, the piston has to move in the upward direction, so fuel will be there in this place. Okay, so it needs lot of energy to push the piston in the upward direction against the gravity, and it is having lot of pressure and lot of pressure and fuel is inside this chamber, so lot of resistance is there. So this piston needs lot of energy, so it take lot of energy from the flywheel, and so since it is taking the energy from the flywheel, it is mentioned as minus, and it is moving in the upward direction. Afterwards, small fire or flash, because of the flash, high temperature, high pressure, the fuel will be ignited and moved in the downward direction with a lot of force. So, so piston get lot of energy and it is moving in the downward direction. The same energy will be transferred to crank, connecting rod, then crankshaft, then finally to the from crankshaft the energy will be stored in the flywheel. So we are getting lot of positive energy and the positive energy will be stored in the flywheel. Once again, exhaust stroke. The exhaust, the burned fuel will be there inside the chamber and it has to be moved out. So once again piston will be moved from the bottom position to the top position. So it needs some energy. Okay, so it takes some power from flywheel, and then once the piston started to move in the uh, upward direction, okay, automatically because of the inertia force the rest of the stroke can be achieved. Okay. So this is the energy diagram or turning moment diagram. So this line is called T mean. Okay. So this is the amount of energy stored apart from the energy used during these 4 strokes. Okay, this is the energy, extra energy stored in the flywheel. This is the extra energy stored in the flywheel. So this is the maximum turning moment or torque. For uh, for engines which is having multiple cylinder, okay, if once if one cylinder is taking power from flywheel means another cylinder might give energy or power to the flywheel. Okay, so in multiple cylinder case the turning moment diagram will be like this: positive, negative, positive, negative. Okay, it should be like this, but the excess energy will be used by some other cylinder. Okay, okay, right. So here also we have a turning moment diagram. So here how we can solve the problem? Why we are studying particularly this portion in this module? The purpose is to design the flywheel. How to design a flywheel? Okay, that only we are going to study here. Okay, how to design a flywheel. So if you want to design a flywheel means you should know how much power will be required to run the IC engine, and during the um, power stroke how much energy we will get, all those things you should know. Then only we can design the flywheel. Based on those designs, on those uh, data only we can design the flywheel. Okay, so to solve the flywheel problem, here they have given a small example for that. Okay, so here they have given the turning moment diagram. Okay, so this A, B, C, D, these things are the crank angle. Okay, crank angle. At this angle, for the particular respective stroke, how much energy is spent. Okay, whether we spend the energy or whether we gain the energy, that's what they are doing here. So we are going to solve this problem. Let me tell you how we can solve this problem. Listen carefully. So it is, this diagram is starting at A. So first of all we should know how much energy is at A. Okay, so how much energy as at A? Initially some energy will be stored in the flywheel. Yeah, that energy is called E. That's what I have written here. Okay. That's what written here. And then, so in this case, when we reach A to B, at this time we are getting some energy. Okay, we are getting some energy. So E plus A1. But when we go to C, B to C, we are spending some energy. So that is A2. How much energy? Area. That area A2. So E plus A1 minus A2. Similarly, at point D, we are getting some energy. So E plus A1 minus A2 plus A3. In E, we are spending some energy. So E plus A1 minus A2 plus A3 minus plus minus A4. Until this point, we are solving like that. Okay. So energy at G is E plus this E plus A1 plus minus A2 plus A3 minus A4 plus A5 minus A6. So if we add every area, we will get the energy, final energy at the point E. So initially we have to consider before point A itself some energy is there. Okay, that we have to mention as capital E. See, that's how we are starting the problem. Then at point A we have the energy E. Then point B, E plus A1. Just look at this diagram. At what place we will have maximum energy? Just look at this diagram from this point onwards. From this point to this point, between these 2 points, where we will have maximum energy. Maximum energy will be at point B, because here E also positive, A1 also positive. So we will have maximum energy at point B. Where we will have minimum energy. Where we will have minimum energy. Minimum energy will be at point E. Okay, minimum energy will be at point E. So we have to find out the fluctuation of energy. Fluctuation of energy means maximum energy minus minimum energy. Maximum energy minus minimum energy. So if you subtract both the things, you will get A2 minus A3 plus A4. So this is the fluctuation of energy. So to solve the problems, we need one more data, that is coefficient of fluctuation of energy. Coefficient of fluctuation of energy means maximum fluctuation of energy divided by work done. Work done means T into theta. Torque into theta. Theta means angle turned in one revolution. Okay, angle turned in one revolution. T, torque. How we can find out the mean torque? For that, one more formula is there. Power equal to 2 pi nt by 60, or power equal to omega into t, where 2 pi n by 60 is omega, angular velocity. Now t means power by omega. So we can find the mean torque. Okay. I told you, no, the same thing they have mentioned here. So T mean. Okay. Next, work done per cycle, work done per cycle is called power into 60 divided by n. Okay, work done per cycle means power into 60 divided by n, where n is the number of working strokes per minute, where n is the number of working strokes per minute. Okay, for example, if you have a two-stroke engine means, if you have a two-stroke engine means small n value will be equal to capital N speed divided by 2, because in every two stroke one stroke will be power stroke. Okay, that's what they are asking. Suppose if you are having a four-stroke engine means speed divided by 4, because 1 and 4 stroke will be the power stroke. Okay, wow. So that's what they are asking here. Sorry, n by 2 here, n, because one revolution means two strokes. Okay, one revolution means, for example, crank is moving from this place to this place means between this it will have two strokes. First, for example, suction stroke, then compression stroke. In the second revolution it will have power stroke, then exhaust stroke. So in two revolution it is having one power stroke. Okay, in one revolution, sorry, in two revolution it is having one power stroke. They are asking how much power strokes. Okay, number of working strokes, that is called power strokes. When the crank go for two revolution, the engine will have one power stroke, okay, or one working stroke. Okay, so in four stroke engine, small n value will be capital N divided by 2. Okay, in two stroke engine small n value will be equal to capital N, because in one revolution it will have one power stroke and one suction exhaust stroke. Okay, in steam engine also, in one revolution one stroke will be power stroke, so small n will be equal to capital N. Coefficient of fluctuation of speed. Here we had coefficient of fluctuation of energy. This is coefficient of fluctuation of energy. Okay, maximum energy divided by maximum fluctuation energy divided by work done. Okay, but here coefficient of fluctuation of speed. Coefficient of fluctuation of speed means the difference between the maximum and minimum speed during a cycle is called maximum fluctuation of speed. Okay, so mean speed equal to n1 plus n2 divided by 2, maximum speed plus minimum speed divided by 2. Now coefficient of fluctuation of speed equal to n1 minus n2 divided by n. Coefficient of fluctuation of speed n1 divided n1 minus n2, where n1 means maximum speed, n2 means minimum speed, capital N means n1 plus n2 divided by 2. Okay. Otherwise, instead of putting capital N, we can put n1 plus n2. The 2 will be going this side. Okay. So omega equal to, we know that 2 by n by 60. So instead of n1 n2 we can put omega. Okay, omega 1 minus omega 2 divided by omega 1 plus omega 2. Similarly for velocity, v1 minus v2 divided by v1 plus v2. Like that also we can put for coefficient of fluctuation of speed. So maximum fluctuation of energy equal to maximum kinetic energy plus minus minimum kinetic energy. For that formula is I omega square coefficient of fluctuation of speed. Okay, I omega square coefficient of fluctuation of speed. Instead of I we can write mk square. Okay, so here we have a problem. Let me read the question first and then we'll solve this problem. The turning moment diagram for a petrol engine is drawn to the following scales. Turning moment, see in y-axis we have turning moment. Here 1 centimeter equal to 5 Newton meter. Okay. Here we have crank angle 1 mm equal to 1 degree. Okay. Now let's see the question. The turning moment diagram repeats itself at every half revolution of the engine, and the areas above and uh, below the mean turning moment. See, read the question carefully. The turning moment diagram repeats itself at every half revolution of the engine. Okay, every half revolution of the engine. So we have to remember this. Okay. And the areas above, so if it the turning moment diagram repeats itself at every half of the revolution of the engine, means you have to find out this power stroke. Okay, I think this is a power stroke. We are having this power stroke for every half revolution. Okay, this power stroke is for every half revolution. Okay, so in in one revolution, in one complete revolution, it will have 2 power stroke. So I think small n will be equal to 2n. I think so. Later we'll see in the problem. Okay, right. We'll read the question further. And the areas above and below the turning moment line taken in order are 295, 685, 40, 340, 960, 270. The rotating parts and equivalent to mass of 36 kg at a radius of gyration of 150 mm determine the coefficient of fluctuation of speed when the engine runs at 1800 rpm. So now let us write the given all the given data. So mass equal to, and then we have to find out coefficient of fluctuation of speed. Determine the coefficient of fluctuation of speed. This is what they have asked us to find. CS. Okay, when the engine runs at 1800 rpm. Okay, so mass equal to 36 kg. Radius of gyration, K value 150 mm. Write everything in meter, 0.15 meter. Speed 1800 rpm. Okay, so if n equal to 1800 rpm means omega will be equal to 2 pi nt by 60. Okay, 2 pi nt by 60. So 2 into pi into 1800 divided by 60. The answer is 188.52. What we have to find out? We have to find out the CS value. To find CS value. How we can find out the CS value? For that, what is the formula? We have the formula here. Del E equal to I omega square CS. Okay, va? Del E equal to I omega square CS, or del E equal to mk square omega square CS. So del E equal to mk square omega square CS. In the question, they are given the omega value, they are given the k value, they are given the mass value. Still, what we have to find out? We have to find out del E. Okay, still what we have to find out? We have to find out del E. For that, we have one more method. What is the method? We have to add every energy and then we can find out the fluctuation of energy. Okay, fluctuation of energy equal to, we have the formula here now. So fluctuation of energy equal to maximum energy minus minimum energy. Very simple. Easily we can solve this problem. I think we don't want this data. Okay, so we know that del E equal to maximum. So first of all, you have to write the formula. You just put formula used, and then you write this formula first. Then del E equal to maximum energy minus minimum energy. Okay. So for that, let us find it out. First of all, what is the energy at A? Del E at A. We have to assume like in A, energy is E. Okay. Initial, always you have to assume at starting point energy value is E. Okay, let us move to next point. Next point is B. Del E at B. Del E at B. E in positive side, in the question they are given 295. So E plus 295. Next at C. Del E at C. E, we have 295 here, but in the down portion we have 685. So 295 minus 685, or 685 minus 295. What is the answer? 685 minus 295. What is the answer? I think you will have 595, 395. I think so. Let us check it once. Sorry, 5 will be cancelled. No? 390. Okay. Similarly, at point D. Del E at point D. Del E at point D. E, already we have 390. Already we have minus 390. Now we have to add 40. Now we have to add 40 more. So 390 minus 40, or minus 390 plus 40. What will be the answer? 350. So at point D, total energy is E minus 350. Then we will move to point E. Del E at E. Already we have E minus 350. Now one more 340. That is minus, because it's below the line, no? So minus 340. 350 minus 340. 690. Now we'll move to next point. Point F. Okay, write it down. Del E at point F. Already we have E minus 690, but here we have plus 960. So minus 690 plus 960. What will be the answer? I think the answer will be 270. Yeah, 270. E plus 270. Okay, E plus 270. At the end, del E at G. What is the answer at point G? Already we have plus 270 in point F. Now we have minus 270. So E plus 270 minus E minus 270. So the final answer will be E. 270 plus 270 and minus 270 will be cancel each other. So we have only E. Okay. Now look at this calculation. Where we have maximum energy. Where we have maximum energy. We have maximum energy at point B. And the value is E plus 295. Where we have minimum energy. Where we will have minimum energy. I think we will have minimum energy in point E, and the value is E minus 690. Now fluctuation of energy equal to maximum energy minus minimum energy. So maximum energy is 295. E plus 295 minus E minus 690. So plus E, when minus go inside, minus into plus E, minus, it will become minus E. Then here minus into minus plus 690. So 295 plus 690, answer will be 985. Okay, and they have given that here 1 centimeter equal to 5 Newton meter. Here 1 centimeter equal to 1 degree. So we have to multiply this answer with uh, these values. Okay, 5 and 1 degree. Like 985 into 5. Instead of 1 degree, we have to write it in radian. 1 degree equal to pi by 360. Small mistake here. Sorry, pi by 180. Pi by 180, I think so. Yeah, pi by 180. Okay. Now if we cancel each other means we will get the answer as 5 and 30, 36. That's what they have written here. 985. So we will have 985 into pi by 36. Actually 985 is the answer. Okay, in the previous slide, this is 1 centimeter equal to 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter equal to 5 Newton per meter. Here 1 millimeter equal to 1 degree. We should not write it in degree, we have to change it into radian. So pi by 180. Okay, 1 degree equal to 1 into pi by 180 radian. So we have to write 985 into 5 into pi by 180. If we cancel 5 and 180 means we will get 36. That's what they have given here. 985 into pi by 36. So final answer is 86 joule. So del E 86 joule. Now substitute that 86 joule here. Okay, we have the formula now, del E into mk square omega square cs. So substitute the value in the formula. Okay, mk square omega square cs. So m value is 36, k value is 0.15, omega value is 188.552. We will get the final answer, cs equal to 0.3%. This is how we have to solve this problem. Okay, coefficient of fluctuation of speed of the flywheel. If possible, we will solve one more problem in the next class.